as Nigeria takes further steps to ease restrictions on interstate travel as part of the national response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Ensuring food security is key to minimize the impact of the pandemic on crop production remains vital. And Emmanuel Ijewere, the chairman of Best Food Farms, joins me now from Lagos to discuss how to ensure farmers get better output in the second half of the year despite the COVID-19 outbreak. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today, sir. And I would like to get you to respond to that now, talking to about how Nigeria can reduce the COVID-19 impact on farmers coming into the second half of the year. If you can hear me, Mr. Ijewere, I was just asking about,
I can hear you now.
About how what your thoughts on how Nigeria can reduce the impact of the COVID-19 outbreak on farmers going into the second half of the year.
The first thing is to recognize the fact that we're now in the planting season, and all obstacles to farmers getting to their farms, to inputs getting to the farmers, should be removed. However, I must quickly add that most of the governments in Nigeria, and indeed the various institutions, have recognized this, and good progress has been made along this line, in the sense that there are very few complaints we're receiving now. There were a number of initial complaints about free movement, but that has improved considerably. And I do see a situation that will not be as perfect as we have wanted it, but this year's planting will go on reasonably well, despite the COVID-19 lockdowns. Unfortunately, we just heard that from tomorrow, the interstate movements will also be reduced or removed.
And before we left off, Mr. Ijewere, I was trying to get across to you your thoughts on the level of fiscal and monetary response we've seen, especially in the agri sector, since the pandemic.
I would like to say that the position taken by the central bank is an extremely positive position, and is born out of many years of experience. And it seems to be really going to the roots of the agricultural problems that have plagued Nigeria's agricultural value chain. They are bringing the farmers and the off-takers together. For the off-takers to be the one to determine what they want, and the farmers to go on to produce it. And for central bank to handhold both parties to ensure that they're able to establish a business relationship that will be sustainable going forward. I think that's what's happened so far. And it was started about 2 years ago, but it's just beginning to get to its vital, critical points right now. It's moving very well, it's doing very well, but however, we have issues that are challenging, which have to do with the logistics involved. The value chain is a very wide one. Most of the food in Nigeria is produced in northern part of Nigeria, and the roads have become a big challenge. Nevertheless, if the rail, at least for cargo, can be improved upon, a lot of mileage can be attained. I am not worried very much, given what has happened in the past 2 weeks in the agricultural value chain and the kind of information we're getting from all over the country. Farmers have improved in their knowledge and exposure. And a number of people are now taking agriculture a lot more seriously and seeing it as a business. And more educated people are coming into this and improving the quality of their activities. So the standard operating programs or processes have improved considerably. I can see a number of people who would ordinarily not have gone into the agricultural industry going into it now. And I think the future looks a lot brighter. And more people are moving away from relying on government or relying on themselves.
All right, Mr. Ijewere, finally, very quickly, I'd just like you to speak to agri exports, and what we should be doing at a time like this, and if we should prioritize how we, how we screen and, get this agri exports at the ports, you know, bearing the inefficiencies that we see in that space. You know, do you think we should have a special procedures in dealing with agri exports at this time?
Well, we need to understand that export is two parties, the country you are exporting to and the producer, which is Nigeria. What are the standards of the countries that are importing from us? We need to get that standard together first. But whatever standards they have got to be met locally. We need to produce at a standard that is good for Nigeria before we can start talking about export. Nigeria has a huge market. I accept the fact that I think directed now at export, but creating food security in Nigeria. Immediately that is done, export will become a natural process that will come in because we'll now be able to improve the quality of our own produce. Right now, we have not gotten to that stage for exports. Let us provide enough food to
All right, then. Thank you so much for your contributions on the show, Mr. Emmanuel Ijewere, the chairman of Best Food